Hi, I'm Kathryn Anderson, APPI Master Trainer. I'm here today on behalf of Unite Health to talk through some of the teaching points of the knee stretch, which is out of the Equipment Level 4 repertoire. We have Molly here on the reformer, and we're going to get Molly to show us the movement of the knee stretch. And I'm going to talk about some of the teaching points that I find really helpful when I'm teaching this clinically. Now, as far as the setup goes, we've got the footrest bar nice and high up to the top setting, and then we want to have the springs on. At the moment, I have one red and one yellow. What you find with the spring weighting on this one is that if you put the spring weighting higher, you'll find that there'll be more tension and tone required in the shoulder girdle to hold the position, but less in the core. And of course, if you put the spring weighting lower, you'll reverse that. So it'll work the core more. It'll feel like a less stable surface with the carriage moving, but it'll be less work in the shoulder joint. So the starting position here is up on the knees. We've got the toes tucked under, just resting on the shoulder rests just here. From here now, Molly, I'm going to get you to come out to the starting position, or the position you maintain throughout the exercise. So to do that, first we set the core, we lift up through the rib cage, and we get nice elongation through the neck. And then we want to push out, so we've got about a 90-degree angle between the body and the arms, and that's where we'll hold for the remainder of the exercise. Now you'll see here the shape that Molly has. She has a nice straight line to begin with, from her shoulder right down into her knee. And this is what we're going to call the plank position. Now with the plank, it's really important that the core is driving this. And so quite often people will go into the plank and they'll drop their hips forward and become quite hip flexor dominant. So a way just to check this is to lift the hips up a tiny bit, then check that the 5 key elements are being maintained through a neutral rib cage position and a little bit of tailbone out to get that lumbar lordosis, and then they can drop their hips forward again into that plank pose. When you find that, you should feel that the core should activate really nicely. So Molly's doing a beautiful job of holding that nice plank, so we're going to get her moving. Now the teaching tip here is I tend to put the hands on the front of the hip joint. Now the bottom of the underwear line is about the line that you're looking for. If you put it too high here and hold here, it encourages the person to move through their lumbar spine rather than their pelvis and their hips. And so from here, Molly, I'm going to hold here, and I want you basically just to fold your legs around my fingers by bringing your knees back underneath you. Lovely. And then from there, you're bringing the legs back out to your plank pose. Fantastic, that looks really good. I'm going to get you to repeat that for me there, Molly. And as she's repeating the movement, and as she gets more used to her dissociation, you're going to start to encourage her to bring her knees under more and more. So this time, Molly, go a little bit further into range and really imagine you're sitting your bottom back towards your heels as your legs come right under. And then you can press away. Beautiful. And again. So if you can continue that, Molly, and really imagine that rotisserie skewer going right through the hips, so that this is the point around which all the movement's coming from. Now, as Molly moves through that dissociation, of course, we don't forget all the excellent work she's doing up here. So you can see the beautiful position she's holding through her head and neck, and that beautiful ability to hold the scapular congruency so that her serratus anterior are working really nicely throughout the exercise. Now, it might look really easy, but for those who have issues with lumbopelvic dissociation, maybe a past history of back pain or issues through the hips and the knees, this exercise can be really hard. So making sure that you get this as a foundation to some of your harder Equipment Level 4 exercises is really important. Hope you have lots of fun with this one, and thanks for watching.